Chris Brown said R&B is fairly obsolete and you have to fill a niche to be successful in it now. So I'm gonna propose the question to you. Is R&B music dead, or are these niggas just scared? Let's break it down with some data points that I found. Let's talk about it. Let's start out by answering a simple question. What is R&B? Well, to give you some history on the matter, the Urban Dictionary explains R&B music was originally termed race music and was basically any form of music intended for a black audience. Jazz, gospel, blues were all building blocks, with the term R&B, aka rhythm and blues, being coined in the 1940s to be a less offensive marketing term. In fact, R&B didn't deviate from rock and roll much until the 1960s, when Detroit's own Motown Records being one of the main culprits. R&B has evolved over the years, from the rock playing, duck walking Chuck Berry to the eerily relevant today Marvin Gaye, all the way to Queen Beyonce. We've seen this genre grow and change, with some change arguably being for the good and for the bad. When most people think of R&B, they think of the R&B that they grew up on. If you grew up in the 80s, you're probably thinking Whitney Houston, Anita Baker, Bobby Brown. If you grew up in the 90s, Boys and Men, Mary J. Blige, R. Kelly, Mariah Carey. 2000s, Beyonce, Usher, Alicia Keys. All of these artists fall on the spectrum of R&B for sure. R&B saw growth in the genre year over year until we had a decline in the mid-2000s. You go from Usher and Mariah Carey producing diamond albums to no one being able to get close. We can easily point the finger here or there, but let's get a little bit deeper. And let's use Chris Brown's catalog as an example. When CB originally came out, he was compared to the one and only Michael Jackson. Some tough shoes to put someone in out the gate, but everybody had high hopes. There were a few similarities. They both got signed when they were young, they both were talented dancers, distinct voices. The label seemingly put everything they had behind them, but that's pretty much where the comparison stopped. Breezy's first two albums are a mix of radio-friendly slow, dance, and club records, perfect for the type of show he likes to put on. Graffiti dropped the ball for CB though. Whether you want to chalk this up to the blackballing the industry had on him at the time due to the domestic violence case, or just a bad album, is up to you, but I believe a bit of both of them are true. Chris was stuck left to go back to the drawing board again, and what was his saving grace? A fan of a fan with Friend Tiger, the mixtape. Deuces and No BS helped lift CB out of the rut, back into the mainstream, followed up shortly with the album Fame. But since Fame, Breezy has dropped 6 albums. Out of those 6 albums, there's some great records, but outside of the records with features, can anybody name a song off of these albums that work with only him? Go ahead, think about it, I'll wait.
You can't do it.
What does my example of Chris Brown prove? I hope it proves to you that when good music is being produced, he's up, and when mediocre and bad music is being produced, it's forgettable very quickly. And that's just one of the main reasons for this whole situation. Nothing's really important anymore. Let's take a trip back to March 23rd, 2004. Usher's Confessions album dropped and had everybody going crazy over the entire album. Fans, insiders, and reporters were coming through every single word on the album, trying to break down what Usher did to former girlfriend Chili of TLC and why. He was constantly asked about this in interviews, about the details of the songs, with Usher replying simply, "This album is my life." Later we would come to find out that it wasn't his life at all, but it was a hell of a story that he had leaned all the way into. Even after the shine wore off and everybody knew it wasn't real, the music on the album was so undeniable that you had to continue playing it. April 23rd, 2016, Beyonce dropped the nuclear bomb Lemonade, accompanied by a movie-style music video, stringing all the songs together into one single story. A story of cheating, betrayal, anger, forgiveness, and rising above it all. Everyone has seen the elevator incident a few years earlier and was waiting to figure out what really happened. The Beehive took it upon themselves to become investigators to find Becky with the good hair.
You better call Becky with the good hair.
As you watch and listen to the album, you went through the emotions with B, resulting in an album that was nothing short of a masterpiece. I wanted to contrast Confessions and Lemonade to CB's discography, not to compare who's better, but more so to critique the album's approach. Confession is easily Usher's best album, with Lemonade being top 2 in Beyonce's catalog depending on who you ask. But these albums took some planning. They didn't just record 250 songs and pick the best record out of the bunch and slap a title on it. No, these albums actually have stakes, a heightened sense of care. They are challenging them as flawed, imperfect, strong, and emotional humans. Having an audience question where they stand or how they deal with the situation, or helping them through the situation. And they are doing this knowing that these type of albums, although hard to produce, result in legendary projects and more undeniable reputations. Now that we're done doing the comparing, let's look at some of the hardline issues. lack of creativity. We get a large range of topics within the genre. We don't get much subtlety anymore though. All of the music is straight to the point, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but when everybody is doing the same thing, it gets old fast. Songwriters like Andrea Martin, Missy Elliott, Babyface, Jermaine Dupri, Prince, Nina Simone, they pushed the envelope when it came to covering a range of topics. Yeah, all of them have a style and a sound that might give away who wrote the song, but the fact that they're constantly challenging themselves and tackling the song topics in a multitude of different ways shows a higher sense of creativity. Babyface loves to write from a man and woman's point of view. Missy Elliott likes to write what people are thinking when you listen to the songs. Andrea aims to make songs that make the hair on your arm stand up. Some will argue that time is money and being creative ain't worth the time. Just grab a beat that sounds like everything else and copy the trend. Which brings us to the next issue. It's all about the money. Fuck being great. How many artists in this new crop could you actually say want to be legends? Yeah, they may say the right things. My favorite artists are Michael, Whitney, Mariah, Janet, Stevie, Prince, but are they putting the time in? The internet and high-end computers have made recording from your bedroom easily accessible, which is great in some ways, like removing the gatekeepers and giving more people a chance. But in the other ways, we're ending up with singers that have no mentors, no knowledge of what they are doing, and worst of all, oversaturation in some areas, making dope shit redundant very quickly. Prince was notorious for telling someone, "You can't sample my songs." He told Activision, "Tell kids to learn how to play real guitars," when he was approached to make a Prince version of Guitar Heroes, the video game. Now, would you bother chasing being a legend when a trendy song could get you a boatload of money? Trendy songs are the wave in R&B as a whole. You have your outliers that are looking to do something special like Her or Lucky Day, but the majority you can't distinguish from rappers at all now. The line between hip-hop and R&B is so blurred at times it feels like there is no line. The R&B artists are getting beats from hip-hop producers and vice versa. Crossover songs don't even feel special at all anymore because they happen so regularly. Artists are prioritizing quantity over quality to the point where they're oversaturating themselves. And a lack of mentors and training from their youth, we have artists using Melodyne, Auto-Tune, and other gimmicks to sound decent. Auto-Tune is cool as a tool, and it's a cool trick to try something new, but when your career depends on it, we may have a problem and your career probably has an expiration date. The Black Music Archive channel has a great video asking this question, "Why the New Girls Can't Sing?" A video essay with some compelling evidence that can be applied to the male side of the genre as well. So with some of the issues recognized, I want to throw some solutions out there. First things first. I want to blame us as fans for flagshipping some bullshit by playing mediocrity and not demanding higher quality music in the form of not streaming what is not good. Reward those that are taking chances with their music. Brent Faiyaz's new album Wasteland has a great story that leads us through the whole project. Silk Sonic is breaking the sound barrier, bringing back older sounds and evolving it forward. Sanad Harnett is tapping into a great vibe that we can't afford to lose in relationships that can help you grow. Reward those risk takers with streams, going to concerts, and shares with friends. The best promotion is word of mouth. Maybe we can get R&B groups back. When's the last real R&B group we had? Destiny's Child, Day 26? Come on, y'all. The quality of music that came from those groups is currently missing and could bridge some of the gaps and bring back some great moments. Let's encourage the learning of instruments and vocal lessons. If you can't afford vocal lessons and instrument training, the University of YouTube, search for it. Learn new things and share what we learn with each other. Album physical sales are way down. There's a possible solution to this as well. K-pop has made a thing of adding collectibles and limited photo cards, stickers, and other things to help push physical sales, and it works for them as well. Beyonce just did something similar with the Renaissance album. If Beyonce had like 3 covers with some limited gimmies involved, I think it could turn the tide for her physical sales, as well as other artists without affecting their streaming numbers at all. It might actually boost their streaming numbers.
Please don't love me.
With over 100 years of evolution and one of the oldest genres of music, R&B has an important role to play. Whether the music is talking about sex, dancing, religion, politically charged, it serves as a soundtrack to our lives. So to answer the question that sparked this video, no, R&B ain't dead at all. And you don't have to feel a niche to do it. These artists are just scared to take risks, be creative, and there's a lack of ambition. Yo, what's going on, man? This is your boy Dan Diddy R.O.S E. This is my first video essay that I just sat down and I actually wrote out the whole entire thing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me get some feedback down in the comments, man. How do you guys feel about the situation? Do y'all think R&B music is dead? Y'all think you have to fill a niche? Or do y'all think, like I said, people aren't being creative, people aren't taking risks, people ain't doing anything innovative anymore? Do you miss R&B groups? Do y'all wish R&B groups would come back? Males, female groups, mixes? Doesn't really matter, man. Miss those 90s groups and all of that great stuff that we had growing up. We had it. Some of y'all might be too young to remember that, but it was a great time to be alive. Yeah, let me know how you guys feel about that with this music shit. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one, man. Love you guys. Peace.